This is the Tigers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, what the heck? I thought the Tigers were never going to lose again, but the Rays salvaged the finale. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. I am your host, Jake Rietma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Rietma, and this is the Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. It's a live post-game reaction show, and it is all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day. And oh, by the way, free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And what we've got coming up on today's show, well, the 5-game win streak is snapped. Chase Lee shelled kind of out of nowhere. We'll discuss that, break that down. And there's, of course, some good news because it's the Detroit Tigers. There's good news every single day. Z-Mac, Zach McKinstry is an all-star, and so is Frankie, the bat boy. We'll talk about that, have some fun. Of course, all my biggest talking point, our turning point, and our player of the game. Rays get the W in this one, 7-3, the final. Buckle up, dial it in, fire up that comment section because I want to hear from you as well. What'd you see? What'd you like? What'd you hate? And of course, it's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. So let's begin with, do we want to begin with some good news? Sure. If you don't know by now, Zach McKinstry is an all-star, and so is Frankie, the bat boy. He was voted in. So on a day where the Tigers don't have a lot of good news on the field, two very deserving candidates going to Atlanta for the All-Star game. Zach McKinstry, what can you say about him and how good he has been? I mean, just an incredible story of perseverance, resiliency, and make no mistake about it, he's been as valuable of an asset as you could ask for the Detroit Tigers. He's been a utility guy. He's played so many different positions. He has certainly excelled, and I'll say it, just completely overshot expectations, and just been one of the best stories, and a guy that's easy to root for. I also saw a note on Twitter from Adam Jackson, who is the Central Michigan baseball broadcaster, also broadcasts for the Lansing Lugnuts, that he's just the second all-star from Central Michigan in the history of the MLB. So really cool. And I know we have a lot of fun on this show, but I was campaigning for it. Jason Benetti was campaigning for it. Everybody was campaigning for it because you just feel like he's a guy that deserves that all-star nod. Now, Frankie, I'll be honest, I don't know as much about it. I followed on Twitter. I don't know how the all-star selection for a bat boy works. I saw the video that the Detroit Tigers social media team put together. It's always funny about why he deserves to go. And I mean, that's cool. A guy that works super hard getting rewarded as the bat boy. But let's talk about this game. Chase Lee. And that's my biggest talking point and takeaway. So why don't you play the sounder, Rietma? Come on, you're killing me here. It's our biggest talking point.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Bullpen let this one get away, and as perfectly as the season has gone, or splendidly, smoothly, whatever, probably can't use the term perfect, but about as good of a first half as you could ever possibly envision, the bullpen has reared its ugly head and had some struggles at times. And so, of course, no team is perfect without any kind of concern, or, you know, you're only as good as your weakest link, all of those fun sports cliches we can use with the bullpen. But tonight it was Chase Lee. Really surprised to see the way he got batted around. And Andy Dirks talked about this as a former player. You love that perspective, but you pitch long enough in the bigs, you're going to have nights like these, and he absolutely did. And, you know, and Dirks, I don't know if I certainly wasn't the first to coin this phrase, but I use it all the time that, hey, those guys drive Mercedes too. And the Rays are a really good hitting team, and they're in the midst of a divisional race, the American League East, still wide open, with all of the teams seemingly playing pretty well. Obviously the Blue Jays with the win streak they were on before it was snapped, and of course the Yankees, and you've got the Rays and the thick of things. So there's a reason they've stuck around, because they're a really good hitting team. So that being said, hey, I mean, I guess for just for the numbers people out there, the stat crew, not great. He gave up 3 hits in his first 5 pitches, 5 hits all together. The 4 earned runs, just not real good any way you slice it. Reese Olson today, I think he's still trying to get his sea legs under him a little bit, just in terms of getting back to full strength after the stint on the IL. 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. He walked 2, and the swing and miss wasn't there, just the 1 strike out for Reese Olson. Dietrich Enns made an appearance in this one. He'll be working out of the bullpen now, Herder as well, but by that time, somewhat out of reach. Now, of course, we're going to talk about that Riley Green at bat with the bases loaded later in the program. Hint, hint, turning point of the game. But let's get into some of the comments, because I always love hearing from everybody. Demetrius McNeil is up first. Jake, an opportunity to sweep the Rays was thrown in the dumpster. Huge play was a strikeout with the bases loaded, ended the Tigers' hopes of getting back into the game. Standing says 59-35. Indeed, Demetrius McNeil. I love the perspective from our guy, Demetrius. Just keeping it real. Hey, Riley Green had a chance to tie this game, and obviously left on left, really tough matchup. And he has been struggling despite some of the glimpses of power that we know he has, and obviously the big home run in Sunday's win over the Guards in extra innings. But aside from some of the displays of power, yes, he has really, really been struggling, and the strikeouts are at a concerning level. And I know that's been brought up on this show time and time again, and I am going to back the All-Star. I'm going to back I don't want to say heart and soul of this team, but certainly a face of the team, and especially from a position player perspective, and a leader in the clubhouse, and chalk it up to the game of Major League Baseball, where you have these struggles. And well, that would have been awesome to bust out of it, but I mean, let's call it what it is. You got Clevenger on the mound. The left-hander just doesn't in that particular at bat, and the left-hander, it's a tough matchup for Riley. It's a tough matchup for any lefty. And he went to work, and, he located that second strike right on the corner, outside corner. And Benetti even said it, you're not doing anything with that ball. So there you go. Jason Walter says, at least we have all-stars. Braylon Dennis says, I'm pissed we didn't get that 60 burger. Well, how about tomorrow against the Seattle Mariners when they come to town? All right, Jimmy Card Collector was like, AJ didn't want to win that game. I don't know about that. Let's relax, folks. Relax. I appreciate the passion. I really do. I love Tigers fans. The Tigers are the best. They're my all-time favorite Detroit sports team. I'll tell anybody that asks. But I don't think, and I got the AJ Hinch presser going right now, so I can't tell you exactly what he's saying, because we're live on the Locked On Tigers postcast. But I'm sure he wanted to win that game. Could he have done more to manage? I guess. But we'll chalk this one up to the game. And sometimes, hey, you get hit. It wasn't like this Tigers team was, not focused or not ready to play. I mean, they had a 3-2 lead in the 6th, and Chase Lee got hit around. Got shelled. So I think that's about all you can put. And do you want, the managing for that particular day is one thing. I get it. You kind of hung Chase Lee out there to continue to get knocked around when he clearly didn't have it. So I will meet you halfway, Jimmy Card Collector, and the rest of the comments there. Because, you guys know I'm not like some AJ Hinch apologist. In fact, I've been critical and proven wrong. I remember at the beginning portion of his tenure, I was questioning everything. And this guy comes over from the Astros after the scandal, and all of a sudden, he's got a demeanor that is sometimes tough to get on board with in terms of how he goes at this time. I'm not saying he does now, because again, winning cures all, but at the time, there were some tough days with the early years of AJ Hinch. So just got to keep everything in perspective. Donald from Detroit says, I need your help. Where are we, let me try that again. Where are we, or where are we not with Riley Green? Oh, I know he struck out a lot. He's in a slump. He's in a funk. It happens. He was in this similar funk at the beginning of the season. Zero concern from me. Zero concern. I'll again chalk it up to the game, but and not deny the struggles that he's having. But I think he's a bona fide all-star, and leave it at that. All right, Kevin Jeffrey is up next. Turning point was letting Chase Lee throw batting practice and not making a move. Parker Meadows, 20 for 100 on the season. Yeah, Meadows struggles with the bat. I did think the one ball into center field, he somewhat misplayed. Maybe misplays too strong, but for a guy that is just known for covering so much ground in center field, that double that went over his head was a rarity. And Dirks talked a little bit about his route to the ball that could have been better. All right, Robert Den Dubin said, we're just responding to comments here. My apologies. The dude with the glass half full, we are sending 5 to Atlanta. Happy birthday, Jack White. Mark is up next. Mark Peugeot. I always struggle with the pronunciation on that one, so my apologies. I appreciate your continued support of the program. Olsen nibbled instead of going after him. Someone tell me why the Herder to Lee change. Yeah, listen, I can't tell you why it was the Lee instead of Herder. I don't think in that particular time there's some great answer with the bullpen. We've talked about this team's weakness being the bullpen, especially when you take out Will Vest and Tommy Kahnle at the top end of the bullpen in high leverage situations. Do you go to, who do you go to in the 6th and 7th innings before you get it to the 8th and 9th with Kahnle and Vest? So I hear you on that. I absolutely hear you, but we're cruising right along. Let's go ahead and keep the lights on, and then we will, in fact, have our turning point and our player of the game. It's next on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Open Phone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency. You had a burst pipe. The first plumber didn't answer. What'd you do? Did you wait around? No, you called the next one. That's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need Open Phone. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone. And the whole team can share one phone number and respond to customers just like a shared inbox. No more, hey, who's handling this? You got it? I got it? No, you got it. Yeah, it's all on a shared number to respond to customers. Open Phone is offering Locked On Tigers postcast listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have existing numbers with another service, Open Phone will port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports, they're in full swing. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. How about that? I've been using FanDuel. It's easy to use. It has fast payouts, and it makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. How about that? If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Tigers fall to the go. No, Tigers fall to the Rays. Sorry about that, folks. Sometimes when you're going live, sometimes the wrong words just come out. It's just me talking for 20 minutes here, going to say the wrong thing sometimes. So I do apologize for that. Thank you for your forgiveness in advance. Tigers lose to the Rays, 7-3, the final, and the Rays avoid the sweep. Let's get into our turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
We talked about it in the comments because the Locked On Tigers postcast audience are the best. They know what the turning point was. Bases loaded, 7-3 game, Riley Green at the plate in the 7th, chance to tying run at the plate. And again, tough at bat. If you've been listening to the whole program, which I appreciate you have, you know that Clevenger, the left-hander, brought in that exact spot to get lefties out, and that's exactly what he did. So you give him a lot of credit, and for the Tigers, for Riley Green, not concerned. It's a big spot, and he wasn't able to make it happen. So that being said, hey, come back tomorrow. Different timing too with the game time. I meant to mention that earlier. I know inclement weather forced it back to that weird 5:10 start time or whatever it was. So it wasn't a night game, not a day game either, but is what it is. And the Tigers will welcome in the Seattle Mariners for the weekend series. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Listen, I'm not giving it to a Tampa Bay Ray member, even though Aranda had 3 hits. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Zach McKinstry because the guy's an all-star. Another multi-hit game for him. Had the RBI as well. Zach attacked for his first half of work and overachieving the way he has. He'll get tonight's player of the game. Another multi-hit game for Colt Keith as well. He's been on a tear and has been a bright spot over the last several days. So that being said, hey, bounce back tomorrow. Tigers taking on the Seattle Mariners, and it's a weekend series before the All-Star break. And listen, sometimes the old timing's not great, and you got Tarek Skubal on the bump tomorrow night that he and Casey Mize switch places for the Friday-Saturday. I'm not sure if that's so Scoobs can pitch in the All-Star game, but also gives Casey Mize an extra day of rest, and then Flaherty will go on Sunday. So you like to feel pretty good about your chances when you're trotting out Scoobs, Mize, and Flaherty for the series. But sadly, I do say sadly, hopefully they're not watching or listening. I'm at a wedding on Friday, out of state, travel, the whole ordeal. Kills me to say. So Friday, off day tomorrow. I don't know why I keep thinking today is Thursday. Wah! Sorry about that, folks. But I've got a wedding Friday, traveling Saturday. So no Locked On Tigers postcast. Wah! Come on. But love everybody that tunes in to live Locked On Tigers postcast and appreciate it. But sometimes you got these family weddings, fiance's cousin, get married, gotta be there. Again, love them, but would rather be doing Locked On Tigers postcast. All right. Had my silly sauce today. Tigers lose. And you know what? 59 wins, chance to go for 62 by the All-Star break. Sign me up for that. Love you guys. Tigers lose. Talk to you next time on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll do it again hopefully Sunday. Depending on some travel things, you know how that goes. But again, out of my control. Love you guys. Go Tigers, and we'll do it again soon. Very, very soon. Go get them, Detroit Tigers. Go get them.